So yeah, how you doing then? How you doing then, Cam?
Yeah, good man. Just chilling in lockdown, man. Just not really getting outside very much, but I kind of like it that way anyway.
It kind of gives you a wee break of being too much hassle as well, and be some time to just rest a shoe and that. And
Defo, man. Watch some TV, read some books, you know.
Is that what you do? I can see behind you. So
I love my books.
I get what you do. It's like a charity shop.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah. You should see the rest of the house. This is just like one tiny little bit. I've got like fucking so much. It's a bit. I need to kind of do a clear out or something.
And I've got and you can see me as my room's all red and white and grey. So it's my colours.
Yeah, man.
So you're obviously in the band northatlas.
That's right.
The drummer.
I play the drums.
Obviously, you're probably not like one of the drummers that just like doing all that all the time, all the proper metal drumming. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I got started with metal drumming. That was my kind of main influences when I first started was Chris Adler from Lamb of God.
Oh, sweet.
Well, he obviously doesn't play with Lamb of God anymore, but I used to love him, man.
They brought in a new drummer in, I think, last year.
What's his name? I don't know the new guy.
He's I think he's I can't remember his name either. That's funny enough.
They're a band I've never seen live, man. I'd be so fucking buzzing to see them.
The last time I saw them, we were meant to be playing them. We were going to be playing them in Croatia in last month actually, and that's obviously been cancelled. So
yeah, of course.
I think that was probably the one you were actually hyped for.
Yeah, man, I was definitely going to be there.
And it's a shame.
So many cool gigs being cancelled, eh? It's a shame.
Even probably you guys are not going to be playing for a while as well.
Oh man, so we had to cancel like half of our tour. We had a tour over March and April, and we had to cancel everything in April. So it's a bit of a bummer. But obviously, it's for the best. You got to do it.
Yeah, everybody has to do it. Unfortunately, now everyone has to rest assured now, and hopefully everything will roll away, and everything will get back to normal.
Yeah, man. I think maybe the end of the year, maybe start next year, we'll be back to normal. And I think people will be like really excited to go back into concerts again.
I think so. Even
for me, I've not been to a concert for like 2 months now or something. It's the longest I've been in ages. I can't imagine doing another 6 months.
Well, last gig I was at was Testament and Exodus and Death Angel. That was a really fun gig. I was thrash, proper old school.
Definitely, man. I love my old school thrash.
Oh, dig you? Are you?
Yeah, man. Like I suppose, like when I was first getting into drumming and stuff, like that's all I would listen to, man.
Some Metallica,
like Megadeth and Anthrax, basically.
Oh yeah.
I just jammed them on all the time. I can remember like me and Leon, the singer, so we're brothers, right? We grew up together, and in our parents' garage, we would just play like fucking Hangar 18 and shit. Like Megadeth, like we just jam it over and over. And we were obviously like really shite, but like that's how you learn, isn't it? Just by trying to play really hard songs.
Pretty like Ken Peace Sales as well. He's my
my god,
Rust in Peace.
Love that.
Proper stuff. And I used to play, and I played Master of Muppets and Kill them and Master of Muppets on the guitar, and I played Secret Soy. So I'm a Metallica fan, and I'm a Metallica fan as well. And we could call us mid-Metallica our band. That's our band, but we mention. But yeah. I know it's I play guitar myself. And
nice, man.
And what a man! And what a band we were. We were playing so many. We were playing Opium as well. We were playing Opium.
Sick.
So
that's cool. Yeah, Opium's a great venue to play. I really like it.
That was the last time I saw you. I saw you guys.
Yeah, that's right. I mind seeing you there.
And you can
see really cool, man. Yeah, man. Is that a Ritual Spirit t-shirt?
So that's the Spirit t-shirt. I was just going to say, shout out to them, shout out to my home.
Yeah, they're great guys, man.
And
I see they just, I think they got a new management company or something. They're on like Reaction Management now. That's fucking really good to see the guys doing that.
They're doing well. They're a really good band. They're like grungy band. They're like the sort of modern, like the sort of Edinburgh sort of Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Sort of like
yeah. Edinburgh's got some really good heavy rock bands, man. Like
aye.
Glasgow's got its fair share, but I think Edinburgh is pretty above the par for that sort of thing. You know, like hard rock, like old school sounding stuff. It's really cool.
We actually had a bit of a resurgence of deathcore and metalcore back in 2014, nice. When we had some bands that played. We had a wee bit of bands like that, like Mindset Threat and Iosona. There were sort of two bands that played. They were deathcore, metalcore bands, and cool. There was then a promoter actually did put on gigs, and then the Metal Party, and he was a really cool guy. He used to put on really cool gigs, and he put a lot of deathcore, metalcore bands on the bill. So
that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have people like that who support the scene, isn't it?
It was the end of my Metal Party, actually. It used to be a thing in Edinburgh back in the day, and it also doesn't happen anymore. I think the promoter moved away, so he did all that. Yeah, what bands? There's some really cool metalcore bands on the bill, so that was another thing. He actually had Breach from Within on headlining one of the gigs.
Nice, they're great, man. Yeah.
They're from the west as well, so
yeah, that's right, man. They're from Glasgow way, I think.
Absolutely.
They're brilliant band, yeah.
I've seen some of the members hanging around as well at some gigs. I think I saw Craig, I think his name is the guy from Breach from Within, the one with the blonde hair. It's quite. I mean, yeah, I think it was. I believe that was actually In Flames. I saw him behind.
It's cool to meet like bands that you like down at gigs. You're just like, oh man, you never know who you're going to bump into, you know.
I know.
I love that class.
I was really
like. I remember I saw. I don't know if you know the band AWOL Nation. They're kind of they're a bit more electronic than metal, but they're still heavy rock. And me and my brother were in seeing AWOL Nation. I turned around to go to the bar, and just the fucking guy from Biffy Clyro was standing there, just fucking getting a pint. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you never know what to do in that situation, do you? Like, do you talk to them or what?
That must have been amazing. It must be
crazy.
What's his name again? And the guy, the singer from the band from Biffy, I think it was him.
Simon Neil, yeah. I think it's the bass player, James, the guy who's called.
Is he?
Kind of ginger guy. That sound as fuck.
I've not seen Biffy before, but
worth it. They're a band that kind of obviously they're quite mainstream, but they blend the heavy stuff in quite well. You know what I mean? They've got a good balance.
They have a bit of that grinding, like kinds of wheel.
Yeah.
They're a bit in that sort of same boat, sitting in the same place there. I bumped into Revocations and Brett when I was at Killsits Engaged in Glasgow. Aye. We actually, me and my pal we were at that gig in Glasgow, and the bass player from Revocation actually came on backstage, and we actually got photographed together.
Oh, that's class.
I bought an album off the bass player as well, which is cool.
Nice.
So,
that's great.
Not like the way we do it, not the way I was doing it. I mean, not the other way. I would just buy it on in store, but buy it bought off him. So that was really cool.
Yeah, it's cool to like go to a band's gig and get their merch and their CDs and stuff. You know, it's like it's different just buying it off the band. You know, than the shop.
And it just then you don't get a really good. You just go in and just go in the shot and just pay, and that's it. Simple as.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes you just like walk into a gig and like you go to the merch stand or whatever, and you just see a piece of merch like straight away. You're just like, I'm fucking buying that. You know, it doesn't even matter how much it costs. You're just like, that's so fucking cool.
This thing was cool. Yeah, I like that as well sometimes. Don't lie. Just some of it can be. It's a lot more expensive at gigs when you buy the merch.
That's true, but it also helps support the band. You know,
I give that a miss. That's the way.
Yeah,
buying stuff on gigs, so it's not really all we want to do. Even if I do see t-shirts. So yeah. No, fine. So we're going to ask a few questions actually.
Please.
This is it. This is what this is for. So you obviously, so yeah. I was going to ask how did North Atlas start?
So North Atlas started. So me and Leon, the singer, we're brothers. So we've always kind of jammed together. You know, we've always done music together. But more recently, the guitarist Liam, we've always known Liam as well, but we've not always played with him. We kind of reconnected through bands in the local scene in Dumfries and Galloway where we grew up, and kind of he was just another guy who looked like he was into heavy music. He's got the long hair, he's got the beard. And we're like,
that's the one.
You look like you're into the same sort of shit as us, you know. So we gradually became closer as musicians and stuff, and then it was only about a year and a half ago that Liam joined the band. There's been a few other incarnations of the band before, but this lineup has been together for like a year and a half. It's been really cool.
So it doesn't feel that long, and it must feel longer when you actually.
I mean, yeah, like when you're doing stuff, you know, you think back to 1 month ago, and you're like, "Fucking hell, that was a long time ago."
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel that long ago when the time goes, but the time maybe doesn't go as fast now because
it does feel a bit different in lockdown, doesn't it?
It feels a lot more a bit chilled out. You know, got all the music as much going around your head as much. I think.
Yeah. But North Atlas in its current form has been going for a year and a half. Yeah.
So is that what the band's when you just started when the band actually first started? This is how it's only been going on for a year and a half. You do
pretty much, yeah. I mean, we did some other things before, and there was a couple of different guys in the band, and we jammed with them, over the course of a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
And we're finding our sound and stuff. It does take some time to develop that,
it does. You just need to get it tight.
Yeah, it's kind of morphed into this incarnation of the band.
Mm.
And that happened about a year and a half ago, yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't feel that long now. But
no, not at all, man. It's been a busy year and a half, though, which is good. It's kind of what you want, isn't it?
You got a few good songs out now as well.
Yeah,
so, obviously, I played in your song South, which is a cool song.
Thanks for that.
You played that was amazing. Did you probably heard that one, but yeah. Be amazing track. I think you played that. I've seen you playing that live a few times as well. It's great.
Yeah, man. I love playing that song live. It's great.
Amazing. It's a really good track. I was going to ask you about your drum kit. Then it's different from your normal typical metal drum, is it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so I've had that drum kit for a long time. I've had that since not quite. I think it was my second ever drum kit that I got. And I'm just generally a bit skint, so I've never got enough money to buy a new one. But instead of buying a new one, I just gave it new paint jobs every time, I would paint it again maybe every 18 months or something like that. But most recently, so I got it spray painted matte black, and I got a friend of mine who's like a graffiti artist to I was like, fucking go to town on it, man. And he just got his spray cans and his pens and that, and he just decked out the whole thing. With just like graffiti and shit. There's so many little like Easter eggs in it, sort of thing, that you've not noticed, and you keep looking. You're like, "Fuck, I never even saw that before." There's like a mad fucking eye of Sauron on the side and shit. It looks so cool, man. I love it.
It was cool when I seen you playing it at gigs as well.
Yeah, cheers, man. Appreciate it. It's a bit different, yeah.
It's modern as well. I think it would be good furniture as well, house furniture as well.
Totally.
Than having your drum kits that evolve in other bands.
A little coffee table,
Yeah.
Drum on its side. That could work.
You could use that. I think you won't be doing it in the gig. If you're not playing gigs for a while, you can just have another option and use it.
I know, right? Yeah.
I like the paint job when I've seen it at gigs. It's just
thanks,
really cool. It's really unique as well. It's not like you see a lot of the drum kits. They have like D drums and all that names.
Yeah.
And some people just put stickers on the drum heads, and you know what I mean. Some bands do that, but I know what I mean. That's really cool. And
thanks, man.
I think you have like a wee sort of electronic thing. I was going to ask you about that.
That's right. Yeah. So it's called a Roland SPD pad.
Right.
And basically the way we do our sound, because we've got quite a lot of electronics in our sound as well. So we've got like heavy guitar and like heavy electronic stuff like synths and like samples and things. So with that, basically anything that I can make on the computer, right, I can upload to the pad, and if I hit the pad, it'll play the sounds through the PA, and you can play them on little loops and stuff, so you can kind of like build up the song.
Yeah, that's
electronics, cool. And then we play over the top of it. It works pretty well, man. There's a lot to go wrong, It can, like, if you don't do it right, it can sound so shit. But like we practice a lot, so it works out pretty well.
You nailed it as well. When you hear the song, and I hear the song, obviously, like South, for example, it has that really cool intro, and it just builds. It comes along. It builds up as it goes as well. And
it's like you can do things like that live with it, whereas before before you had these little pads and stuff, because they're quite a recent invention, you could only really do that in the studio, you know. So it was always going to lack a little bit live. But this just helps you recreate all that stuff, you know.
Aye, that's the way it goes. And if you probably haven't got that, the sound guy would probably play it instead, probably.
Well, yeah, that's what some people play to a backing track and stuff, you know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that. But if people want to do it, fair enough. And I don't judge them, but I think it's better to play everything live, you know, if you can.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Makes it a lot more professional as well.
Exactly, yeah. And it's just a bit more fun because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and you have like techno problems with it or something, and then end up
it happens.
And then obviously, do you have to do it again, or do you just play the track through then? You probably.
I mean, if something goes wrong, it depends. Like, the worst thing that can happen is because on the pads, there's 9 different pads, so you can have 9 different loops going at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a loop like a bass line or a little like percussion thing or some samples. And if they go out of sync with each other and I'm playing the drums at the same time, I can't really do anything about it. So it's just going to sound like a mess.
So that actually happens?
Fucking right, it happens, yeah.
I thought it wouldn't happen. It would be the computer's fault if it does.
I mean, sometimes you can just like if you hit the pad at the wrong time, you know, by accident, you're like, oh, fuck. And it just throws the whole thing out of sync. And it sounds pretty weird.
Just hit it and then it just, you know what time you're timing, I guess.
Yeah. So I play with like, I've got like a click track in my ear. So I've got a metronome. So that keeps everything in time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
play the loops in time with the click track I hear in my ears, and then we're fine. But if I get that wrong, then the whole thing's fucked.
Do you have like
but that adds a bit of excitement to it, doesn't it?
It does. It must get the fans. It must get the fans good. The fans must go. The fans must say something.
I mean, people can tell. Like, if you fuck it up, like, people know, but they don't hate you. They're just like, have a laugh.
I like how you got the drums sounding electronically as well. Like when you're playing them, they sound more electronic and acoustic.
Yeah, that's right. I've got a trigger on my kick and my snare also, and that runs through the same pad. So you've got like an electronic sounding kick drum, just big fat sounding thing, and a kind of snare drum with a bit of like a distorted electronic sound on it. You know, like something 9 Inch Nailsy or something like that.
Yeah.
And they just go through the PA as well, so it just makes the drum kit sound fucking mental.
It does. It must make it more. It must make it stand out a bit more as well when you not.
Aye, it sure does. I mean, that's the thing, because we've only got 3 instruments in the band as well, so you've got to try and make everything sound. And the same with Liam on the guitar. He tries to use a lot of effects pedals and things to make it a bit more interesting, to fill out the sound.
Awesome. And so it's good to ask you. So, any more questions? I'm trying to find any other questions I can ask you about the drums. I don't think there is. So I know you guys then supported Lamage Inc. and then Alexa Spirit, as I said.
That's right.
That was amazing.
Thanks, man. I really enjoyed that gig. Like, those are a couple of great bands.
They're two homies, of course, 2 Ember heels.
Two homies.
I like to use that word, homies, now. I don't know why.
Yeah, man. I always just think I'm Marge from The Simpsons when I say it, though. All right, homie. No, they're fucking great bands, man.
Yeah. Shout out to them as well. Since
absolutely, yeah, they're really sound guys.
They'll be listening to this.
Ramage were another band who I thought like did the electronics really well live as well. You know,
they're more
got that fucking whole atmospheric sound. You know, I was impressed by that.
They do have a bit of that in it, but they're more focused on the acoustics to it as well.
Yeah, totally. I thought they were a fucking great band. And Primordial Radio as well are a great bunch. They put that gig on.
They did. That was the one. That was like a charity gig or something.
Yeah, that's right. Do you listen to Primordial or?
No, I don't.
Nah.
Funny enough.
No, they're a good bunch actually. Yeah, it's a cool station.
Maybe they get some good metal bands that go on. They might get some really cool bands played on there as well.
Totally. I mean, they played us a lot. They played our last single, South, and they played Ramage and A Ritual Spirit as well quite a lot on the run up to the show.
They must have mentioned the gig on their show then. They must have mentioned that gig. That was a really good gig. And so I had fun with that. And when you guys played, when you guys played Opium, and it was completely different.
Yeah.
I think you had some of that as that kind of sounds similar to your sort of influence.
Yeah, that's right. So we had it was Cleopatra and Smut that were playing. They're kind of both quite electronic artists, which made it quite different, you know.
Yeah, and it's
so
Opium as well, and that's usually home to all the sort of metal bands.
That's right. Yeah, but I think both those guys, Smut and Cleopatra, they've got a little bit of an industrial flair to it, but they're not hardcore industrial, you know. But they've just got a little bit of influence from it.
Not like Code Orange like that. They're like
They're like Code Orange, by the way.
Oh, I've got
the album this morning.
The new album is insane.
Sweet.
Underneath. And I watched Shade put on the vehicle and the electronic set on his pads. That was really
that's
cool.
sick. I'm going to have to check that out, actually.
It's insane. It's amazing. And Code Orange are actually doing stuff during this pandemic as well.
Because they had like an album launch show, didn't they, right at the start of the lockdown, and they had to cancel it, and they just did like a live stream instead.
Live stream with no crowd. That was the one I've seen that.
I watched it, man. It was really fucking good. And they had like the animation stuff as well, like in amongst the performance. Like that was cool, man.
Cool. I think these guys. I would serve these guys. I want to see these guys one day. They would be insane to see when this all starts off again. That'd be good to see.
100%. Yeah, I hope they come to Scotland.
Maybe come to Edinburgh and play Opium.
Yeah, man, that'd be great.
I mean, you guys would actually open up for them. That would be a good shout.
That'd be the dream.
You guys are kind of similar to that as well. You're probably sort of soft that.
Yeah, we've got a bit of electronics. So and the same vibe, yeah.
What
tell you who.
Yes, sorry, what you saying?
No, go on, man.
What influence would you guys see in influence? What band influence would you say?
It's a good question. I think it's quite a mixture, you know.
Yeah.
But mainly it's stuff like, for me, 9 Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, things like that. Your kind of industrial leaning sort of stuff. You know, that's where I get my love of electronics for, you know.
Maybe Combo Christ as well as another sort.
Yeah, they're really cool. Yeah.
They're like Agrotech, I think, if I can pronounce it.
Agrotech.
So I think that's
the name. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to define that genre, but I mean, I'd just like to refer to the bracket of just industrial, because you get what that means, don't you? It's like
Wednesday 13 as well, and
yeah, they're great.
Some like they're like the other bands that kind of redefined this sort of Manson sound sort of influence.
Yeah, big time, man.
Gothic.
And we worked with a guy called Mark Freegard, who's a producer in Glasgow. He was originally from London, and he mixed Marilyn Manson's first album, I think, Portrait of an American Family.
Yeah.
He mixed that, and he did some work with Trent Reznor as well, which was like in the early days of North Atlas. That was really influential for us, you know, to work with Mark, and we got to hear just a lot about how they did things and how they worked, and it was just quite influential for us, you know.
And he kind of took some of the influence from these bands then.
That's right, yeah. And it kind of got our sound started, you know.
He would be amazing. He would be an amazing guy for other industrial bands to come around as well. He could be. He's the man, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
So, so really cool bands, really cool influence then from you guys then. So really good bands. So I'll ask you another question. And I know. Also saying about your band members not being here, but what gear do they use?
What? Sorry.
And the other members from the band, what gear do they use?
What gear do they use? So Liam uses. He plays a Fender Strat, and he's recently got a new Gretsch guitar. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know much about guitars. I'm sorry.
I don't have Gretsch. That's a funny name.
Yeah, he uses Gretsch guitars and Fender, and he has got some pretty cool pedals actually. So like for his distortion sound on his guitar, he doesn't use like a typical overdrive sound. What he uses is what's it called? A micro synth, it's called. So it's like it creates like a digital sawtooth wave and mixes it in with the guitar. So it's a really sort of heavy digital sound and distortion, you know.
It's on the guitar,
and it just really just destroys the sound. It sounds so fucking cool. And he tunes it down an octave as well, so you've got the really fucking low notes through this digital synth pedal, and it sounds fucking enormous, man. It's crazy. And that goes well with the electronic stuff.
I don't think I've noticed that actually before doing the gigs anyway.
It's cool, man. Yeah, like, well, I'll have to do like a rig rundown or something to show people. I think that'd be fun.
Maybe do something like that, yeah. That'd be and what about Leon? What does he in?
So
he's just like requesty.
He uses some like vocal effects pedals too. So like he can do things like he has like an octave shifter, so he can sing it and it tunes it an octave down, just like in a pedal. And so he mixes his normal voice and the octave voice down, and it just sounds like really fucking terrifying. Just sounds like he's a fucking demon or something. And then he puts that through some like EQs and distortions and stuff, and it just creates this fucking really otherworldly sound, you know. And I think it's really cool, and it fits in with the sort of electronic vibe of the band as well, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that either. Maybe it's a bit more like.
Sometimes it's quite subtle. It depends on the mix.
Yeah.
In the night, you know.
When I hear you guys, you're like a perfectly normal band. You don't have all these all so much happening when you're hearing it all as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like it's subtle, but yeah, we try to kind of push it in that sort of direction, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's the thing, like maybe when you're on support with other bands and maybe you don't have much time to set up, there's not an awful lot of time to get the sound right. Sometimes you're just like. You've got to set up and go for it, you know. Whereas, like, if it was our own headline gig and we had more time, maybe our own sound engineer and stuff,
you would be able to get posters and stuff like that.
Exactly, you'd be able to get it properly right.
So, like a cut and it'll come falling down as well when the
exactly, yeah.
I think
you've got to just kind of try your best to get this stuff in, but it doesn't always work out.
Oh, but I mean, when Shraya, I think when Shraya were playing in November 2018, I think they had more time to get all the piles stuff set up as well. Yeah. So I think they had a cutting as well, I believe. I don't remember, but I think they had a cutting coming down when the band plays.
Yeah.
They played Wayne and Bud, I believe, if I can be
correct. Right. That's cool.
Yeah. That was insane, Shraya. I've seen Shraya for the last time. And
yeah, man. What venue?
In the Hydro, actually.
Sick.
That was insane. This was like Lamb of God. As I say now, with Lamb of God and Obituary and Braxel supporting, so it's an insane thrash night.
Yeah, man.
I enjoyed that.
So Lamb of God were playing at that show?
Yes, well, that was the only time I saw them.
That's cool, man.
I'll have to I'm waiting forward to the new album. Apparently that's been delayed. I heard the new...
Right, I mean, of course, what can you do, man? They can't really go into the studio and stuff, so...
But they must be finished the album actually. If it's only coming out in May, it was meant to be coming out. And then
maybe it's just like they can't really promote it during the pandemic and stuff, you know, because I think it's hard to, you know, people can't go out to the shops to buy the album if they're going to buy it on physical formats, and they can't do launch shows and stuff. So
yeah,
I mean, you can understand why they push it back, you know.
It's been pushed back, I think, to July, I believe. So
right. Well, hopefully everything's over by then and we can get out to shows.
And I'd love to see Lamb of God again soon. They're in the same band. Yeah. They would be good headliners. Maybe they'll headline it maybe for this show, maybe then the album, maybe.
Yeah.
Got to. So yeah, another question I'll ask you, and another question I'll ask you is, what's your hobbies and interests?
So yeah, that's a good question actually. Yeah. I do fucking loads of music, so I don't like. There's other things that I do outside of it. So I do a lot of like production, music production, and like I work as like a freelance sound designer as well. So like making soundscapes for animations and like video games and things like that. Which is a pretty cool job. But I suppose that's still kind of music related, so that doesn't count.
It must be using like something like Pro Tools or something.
Pro Tools, that's exactly what I use. Yeah, I'm an absolute Pro Tools geek.
Yeah, Pro Tools game. I've never used it before. I used a bit of Ableton back in the day as well.
Yeah, Ableton's cool. Leon uses Ableton. I use Pro Tools, so between us we've got it covered. Yeah, I suppose I'm a big nerd, man. So like, I love reading, obviously. I love things like video gaming and things, and
yeah, as well.
Strategy games is my thing, man. Give me a good game of Age of Empires any day.
So you play that? You probably play that all the time then.
All the time. Age of Empires, Total War, man. That's my jam.
Is it? And WWE 2K most of the time. That's my jam.
Yes,
so,
man. I've not played much wrestling games aside from I used to have a Nintendo 64 when I was young, and I would play WrestleMania 2000 just all the time, just fucking every day.
Every day you come back, obviously. And I know,
still, man, WrestleMania
on as soon as you come back.
Yes.
And I've played WWE 2K. With some of these games are. Some of these games are crap actually. WWE 2K, the CK series is a bit crap.
Oh, they're not good.
Well, 2K20. If you had 2K20, that's like that's a Grix Mania.
Yeah.
So no one's got that game. Everyone's just refused to get the game. Well,
really?
Yeah, it's just so bad.
Oh man, yeah. So you got to make a stand, man. Otherwise, they won't change anything.
You don't want to look. You don't want to look to WWE 2K20 and see.
I'm not going to look at that one.
And 2K19 is perfect. I think like the opposite. Like that was the best WWE 2K series game. I think.
Cool.
And 2K21's cancelled. So.
Oh shit! Yeah, sure. I guess video games must be affected too.
They're going to be affected this pandemic as well. I think if we still get some games that are kind of completed, I guess. Anyway,
I've seen the new Assassin's Creed has just been announced, and it's going to be set in like Viking times.
That was cool.
Looks fucking cool, man. It's like, is it called Valhalla? Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Valhalla, yeah. That's the name of a song by Grant Brigadian, I believe. So
I can believe that. Yeah.
So
great name for a song.
It's got to have some metalheads in there then.
100%, man. Yeah. Vikings and metalheads, like they go together like anything.
Amarth is the band you're talking about. So it does all the Viking.
Amarth, yeah. Brilliant band.
Not seen them live before, but I know they kind of take the Viking metal to the
100%. Yeah, man.
There's a few other Viking bands I think out there as well, like Pathway. I think they do a bit of the old school Viking.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, yeah, and WWE. I mean, I like rest. I mean, I like the wrestling because of the long hair as well. You can see.
Yeah, totally. They got that vibe, eh?
Yeah, because I got some metalheads as well. Creations. Just good game. 2K19 is the one to go for. I'm going to have to take a few more questions, I think, as well. We'll ask a few more, I think, before we end off. And what do you do? What amps then do you guys use? That's something I'm not mentioned to you yet.
Amp sound?
Amps. Do you use?
Amps, yeah. Liam uses Fender amps, I think. What is it he uses?
It must be a Mustang or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it's just a little one.
Yeah, it's got to be a Mustang.
I think it's 2 speakers. It could be a Mustang, yeah. Is it a hot rod? It's possibly a hot rod. But he uses it so it's easy to carry around, you know?
Yeah.
He also has a Marshall. Well, it actually belongs to Leon, the singer, because he also plays a bit of guitar, not in the band though. He's got a Marshall JVM half stack, which is cool. Really good amp, but it's just too big to carry around on the road, you know.
It's got to be the opposite. You have to give a bit of combo or something.
Exactly. I mean, by the time you've like mic'd it up and going through the speakers, a combo is enough for a small venue. It's okay.
Yeah.
We learned that the hard way though. We used to take a Marshall half stack to every gig, regardless of the size. You'd be playing like a basement somewhere, and we're like, fucking Marshall half stack, it's got to be. But we quickly realized that that's a bad idea.
And it's just it's too noisy, I guess.
It's overkill, you know.
It's gonna basically going to explode or something.
So it's like the poor guy in the front row can just hear the guitar and that's it, you know.
That's it. Is it so noisy?
Yeah. So yeah, small amps is good for us.
So what about the Mustangs was saying that we probably
Mustang.
ideal.
I think he used to use a Boss Katana as well, which is a good combo amp. It's a nice little. I think it's a digital amp, but it's a modern digital amp, so it sounds really good. You know, because I mean, some of the Line 6 amps from 10 years ago, digital amps don't sound great. You know, they were nothing like valve amps, but I think the more recent stuff seems to be pretty up to par.
Digital valve amps is kind of the thing now as well. I mean,
valve state, yeah.
Bratstar amps. I use a Bratstar ID60. It's got kind of like a sort of digital valve built into the valve. What
sort of amps do you use, man?
And I got as they say, the ID60 Bratstar, which is a combo of it's one of my big bad boys that I have. I don't have
them. They're great, man. They're good amps.
They're good. That's right. It's the sound of it. When I'm hearing the sound of I've got a Mustang as well, Fender Mustang as well, and let's say that as well, and that's my practice amp. But I have the ID60, which is my bad boy, which it sounds so much better to the Mustang when you hear that. And I do have a really small Bratstar practice amp as well, and I don't even know why I got that one. It was a day that I just never brought the guitar with me on a holiday, and I decided one day to go and buy an amp to just play the guitar. That's the time. That's something that I did. I think we were up in Inverness, I believe. That can be called. It was actually the north of Scotland. So we were on holiday, and we're in the holiday ward, and I think I brought my guitar, but I have no amp. So basically, what I did is bought an amp and
we practiced that, yeah.
And then used that, and then just put it in the rods, and then just find out some metal, of course. That's what I did.
Yeah, man.
Practice there. So it was good. It was a good fun. If I can recall that, I think that's so. If I can remember that far, it's about 6 years ago or something. My mind goes blank after sometimes, so I know what I mean. So one of these things. This is one of my small amps. What do you think of Kempers? Would you say
Kempers? Yeah, I can rate that actually. They're as a music producer, like I think Kempers are great. Like amp simulators are fucking really good and powerful pieces of tech because you can they're so versatile. You know, I think that's the best thing about them.
You can basically do preamp sounds to have different amps and different sounding guitars, as simple as that. And it's not like you buy.
The guy who produces our songs is called Dan Weller. So do you know Sixth, the band?
Yeah,
so Dan Weller of Sixth is the guy who produces our songs, and he swears by those amps. I don't know if it's Kemper that he uses, but it's another one. It's maybe a more recent brand. I think he has an endorsement or something, but he uses them for all his recordings, and it's just, I've seen what he does with them in the studio setting, and it's really fucking powerful. Like, because you can just change everything about them, you know. And if you record a take and you're like, that's not quite right, you can change everything about and get exactly the sound you're looking for. Like, so I can't speak much about live, but I think in the studio, I think Kempers and things like that are fucking great.
They'll be the next level, I think, of amps.
I honestly think so, yeah, man. I think that's the way it's going.
I think it's going to put a lot of amplifier companies to rest. I think if the amount of people buying Kempers and taking the sounds of amps.
Yeah. Well, that's why Line 6 got in on that, didn't they? The Helix. They've released that. I think it's like a similar thing to a Kemper, isn't it? Obviously, a bit more low budget, but
it's a digital amp.
Yeah, and it's just like literally. It's just like a stomp box, really. It's just, you put it in front of you and you don't need an amp. Some people put it into a cab, some people put it straight into the PA, and it sounds spot on, you know. A few mates of mine who are in bands use them. We played with a band in Inverness called King Cobalt. I don't know if you know them.
No, I don't know them.
They're really good, man. You should check them out. Keith, the guitarist, he uses what do you call it? Yeah, it's one of those Line 6 Helixes, and it sounded really good, man. So I can vouch for that.
Awesome. So we'll ask any more questions. I think we'll ask a couple more questions then.
Yeah.
So how do you perform live?
So, as in what? As in?
I think it's kind of similar to what I asked earlier on, like not saying you've got your drum kits, but how do you perform?
I mean, we use it. Yeah, I guess our philosophy is to try and bring as much of the recording as possible onto the stage. To try and make it big sound, because our records sound quite. They've got a lot of instruments in them. They've got a lot of different weird sounds and shit. So we try and bring that onto the stage. That's our philosophy.
So much happening. So much happening. Just not you as you as a pre-piece. There's so much more to it as well than just to get this to free you doing it.
Yeah, that's it, man. So I guess that's our philosophy. That's why we try and use so many of the electronic instruments to just recreate what it is we do in our studio and stuff.
Awesome. That's really cool. Really cool. There's probably other bands that do the same thing. As the same Codons, I think it's kind of a band that you kind of
like those sort of bands are like a big influence on us, man. Bands like Code Orange and 9 Inch Nails. My favorite gig I've ever been to was 9 Inch Nails at the Hydro. I think it was 2013 on I think it's called the Tension Tour, and they just released that album Hesitation Marks. Sick album, and they just sonically it was fucking incredible. Now they had so many different electronic elements to it, and they had an amazing stage show too. And I think after I saw that concert, I was just like, it just enthralled me with bringing electronics to the stage like that into a rock band.
And that's 9 Inch Nails kind of got you. That's what caused it. 9 Inch Nails is the reason that caused it all.
That's definitely the thing that caused it all.
So another question I'll ask you. Is there new music on the way, and when you're going to release it?
Yeah, man. So we released a new single on Friday, actually, just there. I don't know if you've heard it yet.
I have heard it because you passed it on to me.
Of course I did. Yeah, sorry. So it's a song called "Hypnotist."
Yeah.
And I would say it's probably our heaviest song that we've got so far.
I heard it.
It's kind of got. It's got a cool riff in it. I like that. It's definitely very sort of Marlon Manson influenced, I would say. It's got that kind of shuffle beat,
Yeah.
And I think it sounds pretty cool. Like I think people seem to dig it. It actually got today. I just found out. In fact, right before we got this call, it's been nominated for Metal Hammer's Track of the Week. So
you guys will be on Metal Hammer then.
Metal Hammer this week, man. I'm really excited about it. You should go and vote for us for the Track of the Week, man. We'll definitely lose because we're up against like Hailstorm and shit, but who cares? It's just nice to be there.
That's really good to hear. Metal Hammer. Are you in the July this year? Are you in the June this year?
I'm not sure what it is. Like I literally just found out about it 5 minutes before this call, so I'll need to figure it out.
Maybe it's the next this year.
Quite possibly, I think. They're doing some sort of like online vote for their like vote for your favorite track of the week, and then I think they put it in the mag or whatever. So I
corrected Metal Hammer mag. So
nice, man. It's a great mag.
Because there's some new bands on it, and you get. I think years ago you were giving free CDs to some of the
Right enough. Yeah. I reckon they'll probably do like a Spotify playlist or something these days.
There's something on there. I think I read. So I'm really glad you've been nominated.
I'm really excited about it too. I love Metal Hammer, so it's really nice to get some support.
And it's good that your track as well. The new track has been nominated. It is heavy as well.
Yeah.
Heavy in the electronic side. And what I'll do actually, this Thursday, I'm going to get airplayed on the show.
Dope.
So it's going to be insane. Got to give a big shout out to you guys as well on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be good. It'll be good time when I put it up, you guys can just share it on the page and it'll
share, man.
So yeah, just really good. It's good that you're featuring some new music. And is there any more music on the way?
Yeah, so we're actually we had planned to go to a studio in Essex or something with Dan Weller from Sick.
All the way down the bottom of the map.
I think it was supposed to be a couple of weeks ago, but obviously the lockdown we had to cancel it. So what we're doing instead is we're going to try and record the song like in isolation. So we're going to record our parts here, Leon is going to sing his parts at his house, because we all fortunately have like a recording set up at home. That's just luck. We're going to record it and send it to Dan, and he's going to mix it and stuff. So that's going to be we're going to do our next couple of singles that way, which is going to be weird as fuck, because I've never really done that not in a recording studio, but it might work, might not.
Might be in the house, and the house will probably still near enough, good enough if you don't have the windows open.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just need to get some isolation and stuff, you know. It'll be fine.
I look forward to that then.
Yeah, no, it should be cool, man. So I think we'll be releasing another couple of singles this year, maybe at the end of summer and in autumn, I think.
And then I can get them played as well on the show.
That would be great, man. Appreciate the support.
Get some underground stuff like you guys. My shows are about you.
Really appreciate that, man.
Young blood underground bands. I play so many bands, getting so many PR companies in with tracks now. So this actually going to.
Oh, that's great, man.
Keep the light going, and I do my shows from home as well. So
how are you coping with that? Is that fine?
Oh yeah, it's just then I'm just using a microphone and that, and I'm just using the computer to do it, and it's quite simple.
Just like on Mixcloud or something, or
throw it on Mixcloud when it's done, and available on the Thursday. So this Thursday coming, and you'll hear the track. This will be it. The new exclusive play. Well, I wouldn't say it might not be exclusive play now, but exclusively played on Sam Radio's Metal Show. And
man, appreciate it.
It's got to be, because I've not played it. I played South, and obviously your new one coming. Your new one to play first time this Thursday. So check that out. It'll be good.
Great, man.
Out. Make sure you share it out as well.
Of course, man.
So and another question I'll ask you is, have you got any plans for a mini tour? I don't think this will actually count for the time being now.
For a tour?
Yeah, a tour.
I mean, we obviously had to cancel our stuff for April, which is a shame. But I think once we got new music in, October, November time, whatever, then hopefully we'll get another tour organised then. But we need to just see when we're going to be allowed out. Who knows?
Hopefully by then.
I've heard people talking that concerts won't be back on until next year even. Or who knows though? I mean, it's difficult to say right now, so we'll have to play it by ear.
Hope it's still going to be a thing of the past. Hope it's not in the history books.
Nah, surely not. I don't think so.
It can't be in the history books since because of this. We're still concerting. We're still in headbanging away in March, and I think the last concert was the 8th of March in Testamental Fame was the last one I was at, and then this started off, and gigs from now are cancelled. So, I mean,
I do think when concerts come back after the lockdown, I think they'll be back bigger than ever. I hope anyway.
See that
because people they see the value of them now because they've had to go without them, and I think they'll go, well, you know what? I actually fucking really did like concerts, so let's go out.
Because everyone will be missing them as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I sure am. So I know everyone else must be feeling the same.
I'm missing them as well.
Yeah.
I'm also missing some of the homie bands at the moment.
Of course, man. It's the music scene they're all very close knit and everybody knows everybody. So this is how it's the way we see our friends, isn't it? So I think as soon as we're allowed back out again, that'll be the way we see our friends once more. So I don't think it's going anywhere.
And I know it'll be the same as well when I've got my friends as well that I'll probably meet and want to see again eventually as well. Just ones that I just go out and chill out with, the ones I just go out and meet up and catch up with. That's the ones I'm just my sort of local friends as well. I say as well. So once that goes, we'll get back to society again, meeting people,
man,
seeing each other. Face-to-face conversation and scream. I don't think that'll be a thing now on. So a few more questions. Is there a dream gig you guys would like to play? This is
that's a good one. There's a couple. Some are more realistic than others. I'll give you that. So I would love to play with. There's a band from London that I really fucking like called Black Futures. Who I don't know if you know them.
Black
Futures. They're really good. They're like a two-piece. They're kind of a cross between garage rock and like electronic-y, ravey sort of stuff. But they're also quite punky at the same time. Weird mix, but they're a fucking great band, and I would love to play with them if they come to Glasgow. Who else? I mean, Nine Inch Nails is an obvious one, but that's never going to happen.
Open up for them.
You can only dream. But yeah, Black Futures or Nine Inch Nails. Those would be my two.
Nine Inch Nails are probably the biggest at the lot if the industrial.
I think so.
So any other bands you used to like to play? Like, was that just the two you like to play?
I mean, I would love to play with bands like. I mean, I'm a big fan of like your kind of modern rock stuff like Don Broco. I think they're a great band. One of my favorite live bands. Who else? Yeah. I mean,
hard question to dig in as
it's
well.
It's a hard question. I guess Fever 333. I don't know. Do you know them?
Who is that?
Fever 333.
Fever 333.
Fever 333.
I'm not sure if I heard that. I rings a bell actually.
They're a bloody good band. They're kind of like they're like Rage Against the Machine, like a modern day version. They've got that same political sort of leaning, and they've got all the electronics, kind of hip hop influence. They're a fucking amazing band. I would love to play with them. But I'd even just love to go and see them again because that was one of my favorite gigs I've ever been to. I wouldn't care if I was playing. That'd be my ideal gig to go to again.
What about Prophets of Rage? What do you think of them?
They're so sick. I really like them. I saw them actually in at a festival in Poland called Opener Festival. They were really sick. And the crowd was just fucking wild, man. It was crazy. And I was right at the front with this festival at like 100,000 people. And I was just smashed. And I loved it so much. Just like everyone was bouncing. They did a cover of Jump Around, you know, that kind of rap song. Can't remember who it's by. House of Pain, I think. And the whole crowd was just fucking bouncing like that. It's so good.
It must be insane.
It really was.
So another question: Would you guys like to play a music festival? And what would it be?
Yeah, it's got to be Download. That would be my ideal festival to play, hands down. I don't even need to think about it.
Have you been to Download?
I've never been to Download.
So not me either.
It's criminal, man. You need to get there, man.
It's like Britain's biggest rock festival.
Isn't it? Yeah. I mean, obviously cancelled again this year. Everything's cancelled.
It's cancelled this year as well. Yeah.
When things are cancelled, you kind of realise how much you miss them. You're like, oh man, like I don't ever want Download to go bust. So next year, I'm probably going to take the plunge and just buy a ticket.
Go for next year. Hopefully next year's going to be a lot. Going to happen for sure. Fingers crossed on that as well. I mean, would you like to go?
2000 Trees is also a great festival. I don't know if have you been to that?
What festival?
2000 Trees.
No, I'm not familiar with that name. To be honest.
Really cool festival. I think somewhere in England. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's like Download. It's got that rock vibe, but it's slightly more modern. You know, so it's bands more like the Covey and Enter Shikari, things like that. Like I love those bands too, as well as my old school stuff. That's another festival I'd love to play.
So that if you not played that one yet, Iowa.
Never played that one. No, that's another one that I'd fucking love to play.
So it's a more smaller one then.
Yeah.
So that you guys would kind of fit in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, obviously it's not on this year. Next year, who knows? I'd love to.
You got to be in the bill on that one for sure. Yeah. I think if you guys make it on the main stage and Download, that would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
You
can only hope. You can only dream.
Yeah, you must get all different.
Here's the dream, right? Main stage Download festival, supporting Nine Inch Nails. That's it. If that happened, I could die a happy man.
If you want to open up for the festival and Nine Inch Nails can headline the same night. I mean that would be a
never happen, obviously, but you know, whatever.
That would be
in my dreams.
That'd be the closest you'll get, I think, if it's going to be the festival, because you guys obviously the new bands, the smaller bands open up, and then the bigger
bands open up. Yeah, I mean that's a really good slot for a smaller band to open up the main stage like that.
That it would definitely be a good build up, because I think almost when you get festivals that time as well, when you open that actually plays, a lot of the metal fans are just arriving to the festival grounds. It's not like they're jammed up, but they're usually jammed up. I think they're kind of packing near the end, so maybe a bit more than that. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but yeah, I've not been at Download. I only went to Bloodstock in 2018.
Yeah.
So that's a more active metal one than sort of rock and punk stuff. It's more just metal. Judas Priest still playing it as well.
Nice! Yeah, I love that band.
Got to see them, and Will Harford as well. What a guy! Still got his high pitch vocals as well.
Still got the whale.
Sorry.
Still got the whale.
The whale. What's that?
You know.
Yeah, still got that. Still.
What a voice!
He's getting there as well. But he's what a guy. What a band there as well. Priest.
100%.
They play a lot of the old stuff as well.
Yeah.
Goodyear as well. I think Goodyear would be quite a good influence as well for you guys. Goodyear, they're quite modern.
Right,
stuff.
I don't know them actually.
Goodyear and Friends.
Goodyear.
Yeah, that's the band.
Okay, Goodyear, right? Yeah, they're great.
They headlined it on one of the. I think it was Saturday night, and that was a good night. I liked their set as well. And I think the Magna album is insane as well. The last album Goodyear had out was Magna. It was a really good album, and
I don't know much about them actually. I'm probably going to have to check that out.
Yeah, they're like prog metal, I would say.
Yeah,
it's quite mixed of maybe a bit of avant-garde in it as well. So
I think they're from France, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the band I'm talking about. It's insane band.
There's a band from France that we played with quite recently, called Novelist. Novelists. They're fucking really good, super good band, very heavy. We supported. Do you know Being as an Ocean?
Yeah, Being as an Ocean, a metalcore band.
Yeah. So we supported them in Glasgow last time they were here. I think it was November, and Novelists were on support. Them and Afterlife from Florida were on support too.
Afterlife, yeah. I think I heard that.
Do you know them, yeah?
They're a metalcore band, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're pretty heavy. We were probably like the least heavy band on the bill, and we were like, it was quite intimidating. We were like,
and supporting all supporting these core bands.
Yeah, and we're like, what? But we gave it our best shot. It went down well though. It was a good gig.
I guess it's a good name. I guess it's a good way for them to give a name to you guys as well when they know you. Of course,
yeah, totally.
They would know you as well because they're supporting you. So obviously that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I think we'll ask a few more, one or two more questions.
Yeah, I've got time for one more, man. I'll have to make a move in 5 minutes or so. But
we'll just basically wrap this interview up.
Yeah, man.
Soon. So this is a question to the listeners. Anything you'd like to say to the listeners? This is also going out.
Folks who are listening, yeah. I mean, I guess if people want to check out our new single, that would be great. Check out the video. It's on YouTube. I think it might be quite interesting. It's if we've got any pagans in the audience, it's based on the Beltane ritual. There's like a masked dancer who represents Cernunnos. He's like the main god associated with Beltane, which is a big influence on us, like all the pagan imagery and things. So yeah, just check that out. Give us a follow on Instagram and Spotify and all that shit, and I hope you like what you hear.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'll have to definitely check all that out.
Yeah,
you're doing really well as well. Like you guys are doing really well. Facebook likes as well. I think you got like 4,000 plus now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you're doing. I don't want to take this serious, but you're doing a lot better than a lot of the bands around here and around Edinburgh, the metal bands.
That's nice to say. I suppose it's not a competition, is it?
No, it's not. I'm just saying you guys are doing 4,000 likes is pretty good for bands as well.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And I mean, a lot of the bands, I think, when here have like 1,000. Most of the bands have 1,000, 1,500 likes. I
suppose it's like
2,000.
It doesn't necessarily matter how many Facebook likes you've got. It's how like dedicated your fans are as well.
Yeah.
Our fans are obviously really dedicated, which is great. But I mean, even if you have 1,000 likes on Facebook and your fans are really dedicated, that's so important as well. Because I mean, I could quite easily say.
They might just be like random bikes or something. You just
exactly, yeah. So it's sometimes people don't it depends how like hardcore your fans are, But obviously, I think our fans are pretty into it, which is great to see as well. So
I definitely I'm definitely into it as well. I really want to see you guys again when this is all.
Thanks, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll hopefully be playing Edinburgh again soon. I would love to.
Yeah. And once we can hopefully everything goes back to normal and get you guys in this. Once we get back to the studio again,
we'll finally make our studio. Get the right day this time.
Absolutely. It's actually been a real pleasure to get you an interview. I'll give a shout out to you guys as well. We on and from the band. I'll shout out to you. I'm sure they'll be listening in as well when they see this.
Definitely, man. And hopefully, like when this is over, the three of us can make it into the studio finally. So
absolutely, once we get ourselves back into the swing of things, it'll be a wee while until we actually. And so what I'll be doing is more. This is more of this, I guess. For other bands.
Man.
This is the only way I think we'll do it. So So thank you very much again. And
thanks a lot, dude. It's a pleasure.
It's been really good. So just then, I'll see a few more questions again, I think. So what I'm going to do is, so thank you very much, and keep it metal, always, and
take it easy.